are going to take a walking tour. We're going to see our town, Guildford.
Okay. This was in the 1600s, early 1600s. Okay, and you had to be over 60. You had to be poor. You had to be, at that time, you had to be a widow or a widower. So there we go. 10 sisters, those 10 ladies, and 8 brothers. Unmarried, over 60, and lived in Guildford for 20 years. I think it would be a wonderful place to live, actually, because you're right here on the high. Let's just stand here again. And
here, yeah?
Remember I said that this was the main street. I'll tell them to Junior that, sir. Oh, well, come down here.
Are we going down again?
Arch is another word. So that was the White Hart Inn. H-A-R-T.
H-A-R-T.
Yes. So, Town Hall of Guildford. It used to be the Borough Council offices, but it's not anymore. But it was, it's what we call a medieval building at the back there, which is all timber framed and timber's old. Okay? Time of Queen Elizabeth I. And this front was put on in 1683 when the clock was put up there. Now there's a story to that clock, because there was a clockmaker in London called John Aylesford, and he wanted to set up shop in Guildford, a clockmaker's shop. But the people who ran the town at the time, who were called the approved men, did not want any Londoner to come down and set up shop in Guildford.
Definitely not.
Because the approved men controlled everything in the town, just about everything. So he went away and he said, well, if I make you a clock, what about it then? So they thought about it, and he came back and he presented them with yes. This was a pub here. This was a pub here.
Okay.
So that's just on the high street now. Okay? And you can see it says up there posting house. And that's where all the days of the Royal Mail, the Royal Post, you bring your letters here, and the staple coach that came through was to carry them on to the next place. Okay, so that's the posting house. And livery stables means that they will look after your horses for you.
Oh, wow.
Because down here, that's where the stables were at the back there. Okay? And the coaches would come trundling down the high street here. The ostler standing on the back would blow his horn, toot toot toot, and they said, well, no, because they have to change the horses. Okay, so the stable guys, they bring the new set of horses out, undo the old horses, take the old horses back down there, fix the new horses on.
Okay.
And the people, the visitors, they would go in there and there would be some food provided for them. Okay? And there would be a magnificent feast. Very hot soup to start with. It was an inn, like a hotel. Another coaching inn. Let's get rid of this place. Down there? Oh, there, oh yeah. There was a queen that came to the castle, and we'll talk about her later, and she was looking after her grandson, who was the son of the king at the time, he unfortunately died while he was in her care, and she was so upset that she built a friary, which was like a monastery. Okay, and it was at the end of that street there.
Okay.
Now, it's very complicated English history, but when Henry VIII came along and he wasn't friends with the Pope anymore, okay, he got rid of all the monasteries and the friaries, so it went. And it became the friary, a brewery, making beer.
Okay.
Not immediately.
Then it, pardon?
Immediately.
No, it was just knocked down for a bit, but later on it was it's the Friary Brewery.
Yes, yeah.
And then it became a barracks. Well, it might have been the other way around. It was the barracks first, where the army lived. Okay, and then the brewery, and then that was in my lifetime. That went, and now it's the Friary Shopping Centre. So that Friary Shopping Centre is built where that poor little boy, the boy was buried there, okay, in the building that his grandmother built for him. Okay, right, let's go on. Next weekend is the party, which is going to be and the river is called the River Wey. That's W-E-Y. Okay. And originally there was no bridge. There was just a ford here. And that's where the name Guildford comes from. And the Guild bit is from the golden ford. Okay. It's gilded means it's golden, it's gold. And they think the name Guildford comes from the golden sand that was on the ford. And I've got some of the golden sand right here.
Sand.
Hi!
Hello, Santa.
Merry Christmas. I've got his little helper.
Yes, good. Oh, yeah.
Now, you might have heard the story of Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was written by a guy called Lewis Carroll. And he used to visit Guildford. He didn't actually live here. His real name was Charles Dodgson. And he had 6 sisters, none of whom were married. And as a Victorian gentleman, that was in the 1800s, he had to look after his 6 sisters. And so he rented a house for them, which we'll see up by the castle. Okay? And in fact, he died here one Christmas when he got flu, okay? And he died here. And he's buried on up the mount, you know, in the cemetery up the mount there. He's buried up there. Okay? Now here we've got Alice and her sister, and they're reading the book, and you can actually read it. Okay?
Yeah.
And Alice is sitting up, and she's looking at the rabbit. The rabbit's about to go down the hole. Smashed
So
the
that's
bridge down.
a real picture, is it?
Yes.
Wow.
It's just been made in.
In that.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it was in the 60s.
Even in the 60s, was it? Yes. When did that?
Oh no, it says in the flood of 1900.
Yeah, this happened in 1900. Yeah. And she looks Indonesian as well.
Yeah.
Chinese Indonesian, maybe.
Maybe she is Thai.
Thai. You think she's Thai?
Yeah.
How much power? Looking good. His great golden carriage did not get along the street. So he had them knocked down at the end of the church. So his carriage could get past. You know this, but in 1066, William of Normandy in France conquered Britain. He came to Britain with all his soldiers and sailors on his ship, and he killed the King of Britain, who was called Harold.